As you guys know, spending all of your money or spending money on the wrong things when you're first starting your fashion brand is the quickest way to go out of business or only last for like one season. So there are a lot of things that are going to be big purchases that are okay to spend your money on and that you should be prioritizing. So we're going to talk about that today, my top 5 things that you should be splurging on when you're first building your brand. Hey everyone, thank you so much for joining me for another episode of The Thread. My name is Kendall, if you don't know me. I'm a former mentor for people starting their brands, their fashion brands from scratch. I'm a Parsons graduate and I also had my own women's wear line for about 7 years. So today I am back after taking I think at least 2 weeks off because I was moving, and you guys know moving is awful and it just takes so much out of you. So I'm really excited to be back with some fun ideas for some future episodes. So today we are going to talk about 5 things that in my opinion you're gonna splurge on. It's okay to splurge on. These are gonna be your big purchases that are actually worth it, as opposed to a bunch of stuff that I'm gonna cover next episode of things that you should not be wasting your money on, okay? So let's get right into it. All right, number 1, I'm gonna say is great photography, great photo shoot. This is really essential when you're reaching your potential customers for the first time. You don't want them to see this crap. This is not an area to skimp. You wanna see exactly the thing that is most aspirational about your brand, the value that you're gonna bring your customer. You know, their dream, right? You're kind of selling them on this dream, this lifestyle even, and you have to show that in the best way possible because like we've talked about before, when people visit your website or your social media, they've studied it. I think it's under a second that people make a snap decision about whether they like stuff or not. If they're seeing some really crappy photos, some like homegrown photos where your clothes are rumpled or like they're just not fitting their best. I always see this with photo shoots. The photo shoot itself could be amazing. The lighting, the photographs themselves are good. But sometimes if they don't fit well or look flattering on the model, I'm like, why did you go to this trouble? In my opinion, it needs to look amazing on the model. You need to go to the ends of the earth to find, you know, a model that your clothing looks good on. You need to have fit tests. You need to kind of spare no expense. Now, of course, there are ways to do a photo shoot on a budget, and maybe we can talk about that on another episode. But just know that if it's between doing something really low budget and spending a bit more to make this look fantastic, I would go with the latter for sure every time. Because you usually have one chance to reach your customer and communicate to them, hey, this is who I am as a brand. This is what I'm offering you. I'm offering you this dream. You know, it needs to be aspirational. And whatever that may mean for your brand, maybe it's a streetwear brand and, you know, showing people like on the street kind of casually is your thing, and that's great. Maybe it's more of a romantic boho thing where you're in a field. Whatever makes sense for your brand, I just want you to do it really well, make it elevated, throw money at it, you know, make it look so good because this is your chance to really captivate your audience and show them that you're a professional, right? A crappy photo shoot is gonna communicate to them, my products are kind of gonna be shit as well, right? Whereas a great photo shoot, you're communicating that they can like you, know you, and trust you, especially for providing a great product. Okay, number 2 is great effective branding. Now branding, it's funny because I was making my list of things not to spend your money on, and I'm like, I wonder if I should put an expensive branding package on there. Branding is one of those things where it's really debatable how much you should really spend on it up top. But I think the conclusion I've come to over the years is that if you're not good at doing your own branding, if this is an area that you are not going to be able to do this yourself, then you absolutely need to hire someone. Now, I don't recommend investing like 10 or 20 grand in this crazy branding package, and I'm going to talk about that next episode probably. But I do recommend getting someone good. You can even do like a freelance logo or something and just do the logos and the colors and the fonts or something like that. Something simple, but I do recommend using someone that knows this world, because branding is so incredibly important, because again, it's communication. And I'm gonna link my episode on branding explained in 10 minutes for fashion brands up here. So be sure to watch that. But branding is so crucial to get right, because again, you have one chance to communicate with your customer. You have one chance to get their attention and communicate with them that, hey, I value the same thing you value, right? I have your aesthetic and I'm offering you what you need and you want. And good branding can do that. It can get their attention. It can make them think that you're cool. It can get them to trust you. That's all things that you want. And if you have this really branding that's boring or that is really appealing to the wrong customer, it's not going to be effective, and your customers really are going to have a hard time even finding you and getting to like, know, and trust you again. So I think effective branding from somebody who's a professional, who knows what they're doing, is something that is okay to splurge on. I would really recommend, when you're just starting out, keep the cost pretty low, because you really haven't established yourself yet, right? It's kind of like you're in middle school. You're trying out these different identities. You think this is who you are, but you're not totally sure yet. And really, I think that you need to have something good to go on, launch, get a little bit into it, start getting feedback from customers, and then maybe in the future invest in a more expensive package. But I think for, when you're first about to launch, keep the branding maybe under $1,000. You don't want that to be a huge expense yet. Okay, let's get to number 3. Perfecting your fit of your products and perfecting your products. I often forget, I think a lot of people often forget, this is actually your number one job, is to deliver the product that you're promising, right? And for that product to be great. I have certainly been pulled in by really good advertising. I'm dog sitting right now. You might hear this dog, she's napping on the floor. She's so sweet. Oh, she's dreaming. I've been pulled in by amazing branding and advertising before, and then you get the product and you're like, oh my God, this fit is horrible. This fabric actually sucks. So people forget that delivering a great product is actually what you need to be focusing on. All the other stuff surrounds that, but the product itself is really important. So, if you're working with a pattern maker, sample maker, you're at that stage where you're like, well, the fit isn't perfect. The fabric isn't exactly what I wanted. I think that I need to do this or that, but I'm gonna wait till next season when I have more money. Honestly, this is a lesson I have learned the hard way. I don't think you should launch anything that's less than your vision of your product, as close as perfect as you can get it. Is it ever gonna be 1,000% perfect? Not really. But can you get it really close, and can you offer, that thing that you dreamed of, and also that thing that you have promised your customers to deliver? So if you need to throw more money at the problem, if you need to do another round of fit testing and samples, you need to bring different size models in there to make sure it fits correctly. You really want to wow people when you launch and deliver that great product. So I would say that's something that you don't want to skimp on and you don't want to be cheap on. Your product fit and quality and all of that stuff, the fabric, is not an area where you need to suddenly start being cheap. That's all I'm saying. Okay, number 4, help in any area that you are not going to be good at or that you're not going to do. Now, this is difficult because when you first start out, you're obviously trying to save money. You're not going to hire people right off the bat. Almost no one has the money to do that. But you just need to keep in mind that there may be some areas that you need to supplement in, right? If you know that, oh, I hate doing this, I'm not going to do a good job at this, then that is the time to, you can easily do it on a budget, but that is the time maybe you can hire someone, maybe even hire an intern or something like that, or someone that's freelance. If you are a person that hates social media, which I've worked with a lot of those people that they're like, I will do anything, but I am not getting on social media. And I'm like, I'm sorry, but you're gonna have to. And if you don't like it, that's okay. That's why there's tons of people out there that are like social media managers, social media marketers, because people don't always like doing this themselves or have time to do it. So that is perfectly fine, but I'm telling you that if you're doing this all yourself, you're going to end up spreading yourself very thin. And if you're the type of person that can handle that and has the time for that, that's okay. If you're, committed to doing every single thing yourself, that's okay. But I've learned that there's gonna be some areas that you fall short in. I think I talked about it in my episode on why my brand failed, which I will link here, but I think I was saying that, there were certain things I didn't like doing, and I'm like, yeah, I'll get to it. And I never did, like especially the PR outreach, the press outreach. I never got around to that. And, I should have just been more honest with myself and maybe hired somebody, hired a freelancer or a friend that's good at this to help me out, because some things are just not going to get done if you're not good at them or if you hate doing them. So that is my recommendation. Set a little bit of money aside for if you need help a little bit down the road, especially, launching is really exciting. People usually can do the whole launch thing themselves, and then they get past the launch and they're like, I'm tired. I can't do all this myself. And so that's sometimes the time when it's nice to have a little bit of money that you can set aside for someone helping you in that area. Okay, let me refresh my computer here. Okay, number 5 is education and filling your gaps in knowledge. So this is kind of along the same lines. I've worked with a lot of people that I mentored. Some went to school for fashion design like myself, but I'd say the majority haven't, and that's completely fine. And you can absolutely have a great successful brand without going to school for it. But you are gonna realize that you're lacking in knowledge in certain areas. So a good exercise to do is write down, everything that you're gonna need to know or accomplish or do yourself for this brand. What I find that a lot of people lack in knowledge that don't have a fashion design background is the fundamentals of construction, like of clothing, how it's put together, what the different areas are called. I would always have people that I mentor texting me like, what's this type of neckline called? Like, I'm having trouble communicating to my pattern maker or sample maker that this is what I want because I don't know what things are called. And we'd go over, okay, this is what this is called. So it's a really good idea, if that's you, to just realize you need to supplement your knowledge, because it will make things so much easier. It will make you a better designer. It will make it easier to communicate with people in the industry and ultimately, make a better product. So what I would recommend, if that's you, if construction and the fashion design part of things is the thing you don't have a lot of knowledge on, maybe take some local sewing classes. You might not have an interest in sewing, and that's fine, but you are going to learn a ton about how clothing is put together and really start appreciating the fabric and the types of fabric and every little stitch and all the work that goes into it. I would really recommend that. I would also recommend going to high-end stores and really just spending a couple hours in there looking at labels, seeing what fabrics are what, looking inside at the lining and how things are put together and what do the straps look like? Are they bias bound edges, or like what does all that look like? go to lower end price stores, compare the two. This will really, really help you supplement your education and, like I said, make you a better designer. Now, if your thing is that, like me, I knew a lot about the fashion side of things, but nothing about business, nothing about any of that. So I ended up taking this course that I later mentored for because it was great. And so there are tons of courses out there. There's tons of courses on marketing and all of that stuff where you can become an expert and you're only going to benefit from it. I know it feels like you don't have a lot of time to do all that, but you are only going to benefit from it and have a more successful brand, I promise you. So just keep that in mind. You're not going to be able to go through the whole brand just on your looks and charisma. You have to know the ins and outs of so many different areas. That's why you're an entrepreneur and you're going down this road. So anyway, those are my 5 things. I really hope that that helped you. If you have any comments or, more things you think I missed, put them in the comments and maybe I will do a part 2. And like I said, be sure to join me because next time I'm going over, I think I have 5, 6, or 7 things not to waste your money on at the beginning. Okay, thank you guys so much for joining me. It's really great to be back, and be sure to like and subscribe. It really helps me. I've been getting more views, but it would really help me to get more subscribers and likes and comments and all of that so I can continue to offer all of this advice for free. So thank you guys for tuning in. I'll see you in my next video.